Ready to go racing at Talladega, albeit a couple of audio issues. We're going to get this fixed up here. No worries. Sorry for a little bit of the craziness, but it wouldn't be a Rick James broadcast if at least something didn't go wrong, am I right? But everything's going to go right because we're racing at Talladega, and I am really excited for this one. 75 laps at the Super Speedway. You've got Chris Fleming and Donald Ray being scored first and second here, but it looks like we've got Elrich George and Nick Pressey out on the front row. So we're going to get this fixed here. We're going to get us rolling, but green flag's about to come out. Everything's upside down, and a couple cars might get there too. We're going to get you fixed here in just a moment. And let's see if we can turn it up just a little bit. Green flag is out at Talladega. George already dropping out to the back early. You've got the points leader, Noah Belleville, in the 41. Right now being scored as second. I got to get this fixed. Something ain't right here. But so far, the 41 is fourth in line. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey leads the way out of turn number 4. He's going to lead lap number 1, and the Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews is behind him. Matt Kent in the 31 machine. He sits on that Cartoon Network Chevrolet on the inside line with Briley right in the middle in car number 29. Let's see if we can go on board with Briley. Belleville's family in the house as he comes careening by at 180 iRacing miles an hour. Belleville second in line there. You've got the 14 of Tom Sears just on the outside. He's currently being scored in 7th, maybe a little bit deeper than that. Going back up the line here. Thomas Andrews being scored as the race leader. Briley right on his outside, and it looks like we've finally got the cars in the right order on your screen. We still got to fix some of this audio here. We're going to get that taken care of here. 2 and almost 3 wide across the start-finish line, and it's Weehawken, New Jersey. I almost forgot where the hell he came from. Weehawken, New Jersey's Thomas Andrews in that number 2, sitting ahead of that M&M Ford, the 38 of Chris Fleming. Rookie Chris Fleming, for those that know. Chris Fleming in the Ford Fusion, and some of you might be thinking, haven't I seen that car upside down here before? Well, the year was 2003, and it was a Ford Taurus, and it was Elliott Sadler driving that Ford Taurus. And a call from Alan Bestwick, I think, was Elliott Sadler once and a half over and on his roof. And that was actually a really big turning point for NASCAR in terms of safety. It was a scary wreck. And seeing Elliott Sadler climb out of the car was, a proof that we had come so far in only 2 seasons. Obviously, February 2001, we lost Dale Earnhardt, and then it's almost overnight. Look at the 38. He got loose out of turn number 2. And Chris Fleming's going to drop all the way to the back. He says, I've had enough. But yeah, since 2001, just from 2001 to 2003, watching Elliott Sadler flip, land on his roof, and what do they call it, the birdhouse or the bird cage, just where the driver sits, the housing for the squishy organic part of the race car, was left intact after Elliott Sadler had landed on his roof. And Fleming decides he's going to go all the way to the back. New Jersey at the front and New Jersey on the top of the fastest lap board. Kyle St. John with a save, and he's not going to save it twice. 55-48, everybody keeps it moving, but they don't wreck. Are you kidding me? They save every single one. Catania's damaged, and he no longer has the fastest lap or one of the best or cleanest looking race cars out on the race track. The 48 has wrecked. Well, he hasn't crashed, has he? But he's made heavy contact. We'll see if he can keep up to speed with that car. Sophomore Matt Seeger at the back. Shotgun, for those that know, in the number 16 driven Camry. He's got a partner out here somewhere looking for the 51 of Ryan Lindemann, and there he is in the reverse-colored driven Chevrolet behind Indiana's Kevin Feemster running 12th and 13th. And there's a huge gap now. Here's Cody Riggs. He's in 10th right now. Dustin Painter from Winston-Salem is at the very back end of this, the number 17 late night. Monte Carlo sits in the 11th position and 2 seconds beyond them and dropping Feemster in the 7 and then the 51 of Lindemann on board. Ricardo Catania in the 2-4. Jeff Gordon Chevrolet leads the Pepsi $1 billion machine. I think, and someone needs to correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but I think this car ended up winning at Daytona in July of 2004, maybe 2003, the same year as that Elliott Sadler crash we were talking about. Up 11 places from where he started, the number 6 Batman Pfizer Ford. Virginia's Tommy Withers. Terry Freer from Lapeer, Michigan on the outside. He's following Rockwall's Donald Ray in the number 5. And how about last season's July Daytona winner, Cody Riggs in the Budweiser 3, making a very rare appearance. 2 of the 3 Bluegrass Bandits in effect tonight. Toby Estes not in tonight's lineup. And Briley Wright in the 2-9. Sits behind Thomas Andrews. This is first and second. If you just tuned in, I apologize for the rather quiet race cars. A little bit of an audio difficulty. We're going to try and get this worked out here sooner rather than later. Cody Riggs in that number 3, sitting on the inside line right now, trying to catch up to his buddy Briley Wright, the 2-9 Good Wrench Chevrolet, second and 9. On the left side, it goes 2-9, 4-1 coming into this race, leading your Thursday Night Thunder points with only a 5-point margin over Nick Pressey in the 94. The 41 of Noah Belleville in the Target Chip Ganassi Dodge, looking to get his 4th win in 6 starts this season. Noah Belleville trying to get that championship. He's been running in TNT for a very, very long time on a very part-time schedule. He says this is his full-time year. 3 wins already. And almost throwing away that points lead. Going into, I think, where were we 2 weeks ago? Somebody who watches TNT, tell me in the chat. But what was it? It was Chicagoland. I think he ended up winning Chicagoland. Or Jacob Prince had won Chicagoland, something like that. I can't remember. No. What was it? His computer crashed at Chicagoland. There it is. Mama Molly will remind me. She's in the chat cheering for Noah as well. But Noah had ended up DNFing. He did not finish at Chicagoland. His computer just up and crashed, blue screen. He even showed us a picture in the Discord as well. And he didn't finish, so he took a huge hit in the points. Then last week at Laguna Seca, on lap number 2, he ends up just going off the racetrack into turn number 1. And this coming after getting a penalty on the start of the race. So Belleville in damage control mode for 2 consecutive weeks. He comes into round number 6, looking for win number 4 with 5 measly points over this guy in the number 94. In this pack here, Nick Pressey from Brooklyn, New York, running in this single file line. And we've got something really interesting here. After that almost crash, what was it, lap 8, I think? Possibly lap 7, I'm not sure. But Tristan Catania and a bunch of drivers almost got involved here. So Catania's already damaged at this point. See if we can go back a lap and find out just exactly what happened with Tristan. 48 still messed? Yeah, 48 is still messed up. This had to have happened on lap 3, 4, something crazy like that. Anyway, to make a long story short, big slide. Kyle St. John had gotten loose, saved it. Try and take one more look and see if we can find where the 48 went after this. Nowhere. Anyway, trying to show that crash. Bunch of drivers got involved there. The 55 of St. John, I think the 94 of Pressey got messed up there. The 40 of Elridge George is trying to make up a different entrance into turn number 3 with Matt Seeger in front of him. So we have 2 separate packs of racing going on. Taking a look from the blimp here, we've got John Honeybrink. He sits in what is now the 10th position. Ryan Pennell's in 7th. He's leading the rest. Dustin Painter is ahead of Ryan Pennell by 5 seconds. Almost 5.5. There's Painter in the 17. There's Pennell just coming out of turn number 2 in the 12. Over the last 5 laps, there you see the gap. Last time around, Ryan Pennell was a bit quicker than Dustin Painter, and it's been getting more consistent as the laps go on. So the organization in the pack here is slowly creeping up to this lead pack where the drivers are running 2 by 2. Looking at the Drip Diecast and Collectibles track facts, we're almost on the cusp of green flag pit stops, at which point we'll try to fix this audio. If you just tuned in, do not adjust your set. It's not your fault that the race cars are quiet. It's my fault. Because every time we do one of these races, something goes wrong on my end. But we make it through, we persevere, and we enjoy our racing nonetheless. If you just tuned in, welcome to Rick James TV. This is Drip Diecast and Collectibles Thursday Night Thunder Round 6 from the Talladega Superspeedway. Thomas Andrews leads. "17 laps underway of the scheduled 75. Caution-free so far. Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews at the head of the field, and Virginian Tommy Withers behind him. iRacing or not. That's just impressive every time. 2x2, 6 rows deep. Matt Kent in the 31, just to the inside of Ricardo Catania, the Central Floridian, at the tail end of the outside line. Last week's winner, Josh Gaiman, in the DIY 61, trying to creep under Michigan's Terry Freer. Is he going to be the middle car? He will be 3 wide, but Gaiman resigns himself to the inside line. Hole has opened for Catania at the back, and Richie will not go into it. Gaiman can't pick a lane, and now Cody Riggs will make his mind up for him. 18 laps now complete, 19 underway. The gap between Painter in 11th and Pinnell in 12th has now shrunk. North Carolinian Jimmy Kurt running in that 9th position. John Honeybrink in the NVIDIA 2-0 sits ahead of Chris Fleming, who was in that top pack earlier today. Dropped himself all the way to the tail end of the field, and here he now is with rookie Colin McDonough behind him. Bahamian Elrich George in the 4-0. Racing from Nassau has Matt Seeger behind him. Matt's sister Emily was in the chat earlier asking how many drivers are in this race. We started with 26, and I think we're down to 24. Nope, 25. Kyle St. John has decided to call it quits there after 8 laps, just under 8 laps. But I want to know what happened to St. John, because he did jump to the pits here. So I'm wondering if there was just damage that knocked him out, or what exactly happened here, because St. John was running here in the double 5. Already got bad damage on the front, and then the 8 car just jumps to the pits, and that's all she wrote. So I'm really interested to know what happened at that part of the race. So let's see if we can wind this back here, because I think this is just at the bit where Kyle St. John almost loses the race car. Yeah, there it is. Let's see if we can wind this back here, because St. John does a fantastic job of saving this the first time. And Pinnell just tries to pass on the outside. St. John looks like he blocks way too late, saves it from the wall, gets into Feemster, gets into Catania. The 51 of Lindemann almost involved. Everybody makes it through mostly safely. And at the front, we have a lead change. The pride of DeSoto, Missouri, being pushed by Rockwall's Donald Ray to the front of this race. Noah Belleville, new leader in car 41, and the points leader leads by example. Looks like the drivers are going to go a bit further on fuel than we expected. They're right in the middle of that pit window. .529 running second and third. Cody Riggs rolling 4th in line. Everybody kind of just settled in, taking it so far easy, for lack of a better phrase. Single file behind them and no choice but to ride around. The graduate of Hoover High School from nearby Birmingham, Alabama, Ryan Pinnell, running in 9th, as it were. Not in a bad spot. Now, the gap has increased to 8 seconds between the top 8 and the rest of the field. However, with pit stops on the horizon, those who attack pit lane best are in a prime position to make positions up. Nobody dives into pit lane just yet. 23 laps about to be complete. Belleville leads. Tristan Catania still running. Ryan Lindemann being scored as out of the race or off the track at the moment. That always makes me nervous. Everybody makes it by Tristan, thankfully, without a scratch. And there, Ryan Lindemann being scored out of this race. So the Tampa driver, our second DNF. Tristan Catania running 2 laps down. Austin Mongold, Dale Markowski, Jimmy Kerr still in this one. Mongold in the 17 Dr. Pepper Ford. Slick-looking race car, by the way. He's rolling up behind that double 3 of Dale Markowski. And everybody trying to get along, trying to get settled in. 25 laps on the board. We're a third of the way through round 9. And if you just tuned in, caution-free, through the first 25 circuits at Talladega, and if this is your first Thursday Night Thunder race, welcome. We hope it's not your last. Gen 4 cars, Gen 4 vibes, and the camera angles are absolutely terrible too. Who doesn't want to watch this? The 41 of Noah Belleville, just ahead of Donald Ray, coming out of turn number 4. Briley Wright sitting third in line. 25 laps complete, and the drivers have surpassed the drip, diecast, and collectibles expectations for the fuel run. 199 miles on offer tonight, if my math is right, which it never is. Thomas Andrews back out front, the New Jersey pilot in the shiny blue deuce with the Batman machine behind him. Noah Belleville in the 41 Target Chip Ganassi Dodge now takes the lead back out of turn number 4. 25 laps about to be completed, and they're drag racing for the lead. This is the way it's looked since we started this race. At this rate, drivers might be trying to make this on one stop. We'll see exactly what happens. The 2-4 of Richie Catania in the Pepsi $1 billion Chevrolet sits just ahead of Cody Riggs, Texas A&M and Fubon Guardians pitcher. Matt Kent in the number 31 Monte Carlo sits just ahead of North Carolina's Dustin Painter. Those are the top 11 drivers. 8.5 seconds behind them. The remaining drivers just trying to hold on until that first green flag pit stop cycle. Donald Ray in line in that Monsters Inc. Chevrolet. Let's go on board. And shout out Ms. Denise Lindemann reminding us that Hurricane Helene's going on in the Florida area right now. I actually saw a weather map today, and it's literally and figuratively getting deep out there. So we hope everybody's going to stay safe. And yeah, it's absolutely 100% important for Ryan to hunker down and be safe so he can race with us next week. Selfish of us to wonder why the hell he's not in this race. Well, a hurricane, not much, can stop Ryan Lindemann. I know this from my many years of broadcasting. There's not a lot, but a hurricane is one of those things. And here comes a hurricane into pit lane. Everybody and their mama's going to come down into pit road. Noah Belleville comes in at the speed of light, and he decides he's not going to come into the pits. These guys want to go 3 and 4 wide into the pits at a more controlled speed, and the championship leader has once again thrown away what is a promising start to the race. Jumps the start at Laguna Seca, gets the penalty, and on the subsequent lap flies off into turn number 1. And here, the points leader, who comes in with a slim margin of 5 points, comes in way too fast and avoids pit lane, avoids speeding into pit lane. Look at this. Coming in at 300 miles an hour, and he decides, I'm out. Have another look. Have a listen. Belleville now makes it in, and we hope he didn't catch himself a penalty this time. But it is a heads-up play as he comes down to 0 miles an hour while the competition around him, wherever John Honeybrink is going at 193 iRacing miles an hour. Heads-up play to avoid speeding in pit lane, by the way. A really heads-up play, so good for him. Here comes the rest. Emily. Matt's, look at, oh my God, what in the world is going on here? Is that Nick Pressey? That is Nick Pressey, who decides to come in at a ludicrous speed. Somebody wants to tell this boy that it's not Tokyo Drift out here. He just went in a 4-wheel drift into the pits. Watch this. Where is Nick Pressey coming into the pits? That is absurd. See if we can run this back here, because he just came in. he did what Noah Belleville did, although he tried to hold on to it. And goes completely sideways, and he picks up a scratch on the left-hand side of the race car. So that's Brooklyn's effort coming into the pits. And the all-black 94 is going to have just a little bit of repair coming into the pits there. Tommy Withers being scored as your race leader, with Ryan Lindemann back out on the racetrack. And how about that? Didn't I just tell you that there's not much that can stop? Not even a hurricane will get in this man's way. Must have knocked out his internet, but he came back to play. I really hope... Look, if Ms. Denise is listening here, please get this man away from the computer if it's not a safe idea to get into the sim rig. If he can do this safely while the rest of the Lindemann tribe is also safe, then yes, please keep him on the racetrack. If the family needs to get up and go, then you all do your thing. But glad to see the 51 back out on the racetrack. His driven car wash partner, Matt Seeger, sitting behind Jimmy Kerr III in the 75. At the front, it's Rockwall's Donald Ray, now pushing Josh Gaiman, and Tommy Withers surges to the lead in the number 6. Everybody coming down between laps 29 and 31. And we're seeing green times on the board. Everybody going green. Those lap times are getting quicker. Caution free so far, despite a couple of scares. Noah Belleville, the points leader, comes into this race, and he also decides to speed into pit lane. Watch this. Well, and correction, he did not speed into pit lane. He sped around pit lane. With orange brake rotors, he decides to dip. And he now finds himself in the 21st position by himself with no draft help on the tail end of the lead lap. And the leaders are now coming out of turn number 4. Tristan Catania on the outside. He was involved in what was that lap 8 skirmish. Nick Pressey in the Brooklyn car. Well, in the drip diecast machine from Brooklyn, I should say, has gone purple, 48.20. He's got the quickest lap so far. And in this pack that has become, Matt Seeger's going around. It looks like there's been some contact. Seeger still trying to get it together. He's in 17th, spinning through turn number 1. No caution so far. 16 just by himself on the racetrack. What happened? What happened? Lap 35, this is Matt Seeger. Just gets lifted by John Honeybrink in the 2-0. Spins, keeps it moving. But no, and there is the first caution of the race coming out for the 16 getting turned around. So the yellow flag is out at the Talladega Super Speedway. Matt Seeger crashes on lap 35 by way of John Honeybrink's front bumper. Have another look here. Hey, just gets lifted by Honeybrink, and I want to have a listen here with the 2-0 and find out just exactly where this went wrong. All right, let's back it up here. I want to see exactly where the 2-0 got up under the 1-6. And just have a listen. Oh, a hard checkup. You can hear that Honeybrink tried lifting. Just an accordion there. And fortunately, Seeger didn't hit anything. He didn't get into a wall, but a big spin and first caution is out 35 laps at the Talladega Super Speedway. Josh Gaiman being scored as your race leader. This is going to give us an opportunity to try and fix some of these audio errors, and we'll be back here for what will be the second half of this race and more really exciting Gen 4 iRacing from Talladega. We'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. Back to race more Thursday Night Thunder from the Talladega Super Speedway. Tom Sears being scored as your race leader. Josh Gaiman on his outside, getting ready to start what will be a little less than the second half of this race. The two-time champion going for 3 in what will be his 9th campaign. This is our 9th season. This will be our 6th race in that 9th campaign. Everybody came down pit road on laps 36 and 37, except for Kevin Feemster, Tristan Catania, now running in 22nd and 24th, respectively, if I'm counting that right. I don't think I am. No, and they're a couple of laps apart here, so everybody's going to get sorted back together. We're going to get racing again. 38 laps about to be complete. Tom Sears will have control of the field. Green flag is out. Let's go racing at Talladega. And at the line, it's New Jersey's Thomas Andrews who leads that lap. Tom Sears behind him in the 1-4. Josh Gaiman trying to sneak through up the middle with Briley right behind him in the 2-9. Michigan's Terry Freer on that outside line trying to make something happen for him. 3 wide down the back straight. Noah Belleville trying to sneak back to the inside. That caution saved Noah Belleville, by the way. That caution literally saved this guy here. I believe he got the lucky dog, and he's back out on the lead lap. And talk about damage control for him as well, because last week at Talladega, he ended up in stone dead last after his mistake. And I think he came back to finish on the podium. I might be wrong. Somebody else would know ahead of me. Donald Ray just went purple, by the way, 48.09. So Noah Belleville comes back from the virtual dead last week at Laguna Seca, and now he's back, 3rd in line on the inside, still with a great chance to win this race. Nick Pressey, on the other hand, does a skid into pit lane. He finds himself in 8th. Talk about Talladega being the land of second chances. These drivers have a lot more to fight for. 41 laps about to be complete, and car 41 running in 3rd on the inside line. Let's ride with him. Grandma Jeannie for the win, confirming that Noah Belleville did get a podium last week. He ended up finishing in that 3rd position. Finds himself in a bit more of a restrained position now, behind the mercy of the drivers ahead. Josh Gaiman doing all the heavy work at the front in the 61 Chevrolet. Matt Seeger in the 16 car, up 18 places from where he started, and Emily with a big cheer for Matt Seeger. He's doing actually incredibly well, it has to be said. And imagine if he picks up his first Thursday Night Thunder win at Talladega. It's happened to other drivers before, and former winners, I should say, in this race, trying to make something a bit better of what they've seen in previous years. Ryan Pennell, one of those drivers. He's currently running in the 15th position on the lead lap. Anybody on the lead lap when the white flag flies has a chance to win this race. It absolutely. The only time I've seen somebody not have a chance to win this race, I think, was one of the Thursday Night Thunder Daytona races where Briley Wright, who's now in second, ended up winning. And I think they crashed in turn number 1. Briley was literally, and I know I exaggerate a lot, but Briley Wright was literally the only driver going faster than 120 miles an hour out of turn number 2. Everybody behind him had crashed, and there was no one to contest Briley winning this race from the exit of turn 2 to the white flag. And that is the only time I've seen drivers not have a chance to win this race on the last lap. Briley sits in third right now, second in line on the left-hand side. 30 laps remain. One caution so far in these 45 completed laps of racing. Tristan Catania on the outside. In the 19th position, he finds himself one lap off the pace and the lucky dog. He got caught in that turn 1 skirmish. Dale Markowski looks like he got out in the wall out of turn number 2, and he's losing huge momentum. And the Dale Jr. double 3 now really falling behind. He's going to lose the draft, and he's going to need a lot of help. Markowski on the back foot. Let's see what happened. On with a big blink as well. I think he might have just had a blink going into the corner and hit the wall coming out of it. Yeah, huge blink for Markowski out of turn number 2 after hitting the wall. And now the 16th place driver watching the pack sail away. Let's go on board with Elridge George. At the front, new leader, 1-6, Matt Seeger. Oh, and he's getting loose down the back straight with a big bump draft from the 38 car. It almost went terrible from first to almost last in what was no time at all. Ryan Pennell goes purple, 47.94. And the only driver to go beneath 47 seconds, the 12 car in 12th with the fastest lap of this race. There goes Gaiman. He goes down to the inside. Big slide for the 61 car. He's going to watch the field sail by him. Tom Sears at the front of this race. Belleville now to the front. 3-4 wide out of turn number 2. Chaos resumes in orderly fashion. 4-1 tries to block the 2-9's advance and does so successfully. 16 of Seeger to the outside. Here comes Freer, Michigan's Terry Freer, for those that know. Now sitting in second, and Missouri's Noah Belleville on the left-hand side. He's had a couple of blinks in tonight's race where the internet just doesn't hold up like you'd want it to, and you hope that he can keep it together at the front. 49 laps complete. Freer leads. And you want to go back almost a couple of laps to where Matt Seeger was passed. Let's have a look back here to Josh Gaiman. Watch this. Oh, he's already well off at this point. I hope we don't miss any other action here, but it looks like Briley Wright might have just gotten into him. Well, oh, that's really close. You want to have another look. Let's go on board. That coming after some heavy bump drafting. The lap prior. At the front, it's still Noah Belleville. The 86 of Terry Freer on the outside. Sophomore Matt Seeger down to 9th. And 25 laps to go. It says Laguna Seca. It doesn't even say Laguna Seca. It's because I can't spell and I'm not detail oriented. There we go. How about that? It would not be a Rick James TV stream if something did not go wrong at this point. But that's okay. The cars are still driving on track, and they're racing well, and that's what matters. 23 laps to go this time by. Belleville in the 41, Freer in the 86. They drag race with the help of Kentucky's Briley Wright and Alabama's Ryan Pennell, who at one point wasn't even in the lead draft. And here he is fighting to lead this race. And don't look now, because it is the driven duo, Matt Seeger and Ryan Lindemann, nose to tail in reverse driven car wash liveries. 51 battling the hurricane right now, hoping his internet stays put together. He's going to fall back into line, and his reverse counterpart in the 1-6 with a chance to win it all. Matt Seeger in the Camry sits behind rookie Chris Fleming. Donald Ray by his lonesome. The pictures tell it all. 2-0 to go, and then it's 1-9 at the line. We saw the 5 car get knocked out of line several laps ago. Not sure exactly what happened to him, but everybody went around Donald Ray, and he was knocked out of the lead pack, knocked out of the draft. And now Ray sits having to draft with Josh Gaiman. Ray, the last car on the lead lap right now. Here comes Noah Belleville and the rest of the cavalry. They will cross the line for 19 laps to go. Seeger trying to lead the third line on the outside. He's got Thomas Andrews behind him. Belleville will lead for one more lap, but it's wins and points on his mind. Points leader by 5 coming into this race. Nick Pressey, his rival, currently sitting in 11th, and it takes one moment for it all to go upside down, literally and figuratively. Pressey will stay conservative at the back. Belleville will lead at the front, not without noise from Terry Freer, not without second-year driver Shotgun Seeger on the outside trying to win it. 18 to go this time by, and so much more racing. Dale Markowski will make way on the outside. Donald Ray will do the same. It will be a fight to stay the first driver one lap down, and the fight's going to be between these two drivers here. It is the lifeline to get back into this race. Who's going to be the guy to stay on the lead lap? Going to watch everybody make it through here, hopefully in one piece. And these two will become part of the mix. They have to hit the brakes, though, really hard, and no one's going to make it through here. Lindemann on the outside, Ray's involved, everybody getting a piece of this one. Caution will be out with 16 laps to go this time by. Saw that one coming a mile away. Let's see what happened to Donald Ray. This is on lap 46, by the way. This is why Donald Ray is in this position to begin with. I want to speed this up here and see if Ray just gets out of shape, he gets out of line, just what exactly happened. He's in the wall at this point. Donald, you saw it there. Just take a look. That's what slowed him down. We were on board with another driver. Have a look. Ray gets into the wall in turn number 3, and he's got to ride it out. Oh, he pulls himself off just in front of Dustin Painter, but the North Carolinian makes it through. And now, after that, just fighting to stay on the lead lap. Ryan Lindemann on the outside, by the way. Nowhere for him to go. Thomas Andrews crashed. Colin McDonough has crashed. Lindemann just gets plowed into turn number 3. Here's Lindo by himself. He's coming out of the pits. Tampa's Ryan Lindemann trying to fight the Hurricane. Here comes the cavalry on board with the 5-1. Shifts into 4th, and he's going to take the high side. He gets into the low lane, and now he just keeps gradually moving up further, further, further. There's going to be nowhere for these guys to go. The 61 hits the brakes. 5 tries to avoid him, and nothing doing at that point. Feimster tries to avoid by going off track. This is Nick Pressey in the 94 championship contender. He blinks. Does he make it through? He does. Keeps on the brakes. Makes it through. Tommy Withers trying to avoid all of this. Stays on the low line. Makes it through. John Honeybrink makes it through. Let's go on board with the 2-0. Watch this. Untouched. We'll have another look at that in just a moment. This is on board with Matt Seeger. Well, let's advance this out here into turn number 3. There you see the 5, the 6, 1. Seeger's going to be on the inside. Let's actually go on board with Donald Ray here. With Kevin Feemster. Looks like Feemster might have had a blink at this time as well. Yeah, big blink for him. But he dodges all of this. Kerr the third just makes it through. Well done for him. Let's have another look with John Honeybrink here. Watch this. Unbelievable hands. Smooth moves like that are what earns John Honeybrink his very own Colt Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream!
We're going to restart inside. 10 laps to go. Feels like forever since we've done a Colt Trickle move of the race. Good for John Honeybrink. Terry Freer is being scored as the race leader with the lights out on top of the pace car. Noah Belleville to his left-hand side. Matt Seeger with a chance to win it. We will restart with lucky number 13. Laps to go at Talladega. You couldn't ask for a better setup. You really couldn't. I have a very strong feeling this is not going to be our last caution. I hope it is. But you know, at the same time, that's kind of just the charm of super speedway racing. Is that you know there's going to be so much more action in such a short period of time, and we hope everybody makes it through. Okay, we genuinely do. So Belleville will have control of the field. Freer to his outside. Ryan Pennell, who won this race in Season 4 after Tommy Reynolds and Dustin Painter. Well, after Tommy Reynolds came up the racetrack and knocked Dustin Painter out of line. Ended up winning this race. Only one time has the winner of this race actually gone on to win the championship, and that was last season. And you know what? That's not even partly true, because last season was the season finale at Talladega. Jacob Prince had already clinched the championship by then, so technically the winner of this race has never then gone on to win the championship. The championship has always been either won by Talladega, or the winner of this race has not been the champion. Noah Belleville has a great chance to win, and he wants that TNT championship. 13 laps to go. The Missouri driver with control of the field. All bets are on. Who do you got? Green flag is out. Contact into turn number 3. Pennell saves it. Briley Wright just gets a little too eager to give him a push into turn number 3. Drivers cannot bump draft these race cars in the corners. They have got to be careful with each other. A dozen laps of racing remain when they cross the line. Freer, Pennell leading the middle. Sears on the outside. It's Belleville, Seeger, Catania. On the inside line, look at Pennell move to the inside. He wants that lead. He sneaks in front of the 41. New leader, car 12, Ryan Pennell. One car down to the inside. It looks like it's Kevin Feemster who's off the racetrack. Nope, Feemster's good. Who fell off? Was it Mongold? No idea. Back to the front. Tom Sears on the outside. Ryan Pennell leads that inside line. Michigan's Terry Freer with a bumper full of Briley Wright on the outside line. Wright desperately looking for some clean air in front. There's a big one. There goes Freer. There goes Pennell. Caution is out. Withers. Wow, my God. Withers, Sears, Riggs just gets out of it. And Tom Sears, one of the championship hopefuls, involved in this third caution with 11 laps to go. Richie Catania makes it through. Noah Belleville makes it through. Matt Seeger survives again. And Georgians everywhere rejoice. Briley Wright makes it through. The Bluegrass Bandit is sitting in third. The hometown flavor of the week, Ryan Pennell from Birmingham, Alabama, just down the street, makes it through. Central Florida's Richie Catania makes it through. There's your top 5. Let's rewind and see exactly what happened. Gaiman involved in a crash for the second time. Now this is Gaiman's already crumpled up. Looks like Terry Freer took a heavy shot and just got sent into the outside wall. Watch this. He took a big one. Nope, this is earlier. This is my mistake. This is Pennell going for the lead. See if we can find out when Freer takes a tumble. This is it. Bump draft by Briley Wright. Into turn number 1. Freer takes a big hit, and that's eerily reminiscent of Freer. I'm sorry, not Freer, of Briley Wright getting into Josh Gaiman. There's Dale Markowski. Heavy hit for him. Cody Riggs, last season's July winner, got into it. Now check this out. This is on lap 50. This is Briley Wright behind Josh Gaiman. Let's watch Briley Wright here. Here we go. Have a look at Briley Wright. And everybody behind him does not make it through. Have a look at Ryan Pennell. Watch this. What a save. The Alabama pilot stays in it. Everybody else crumpled up behind them. See who else got involved in this one. John Honeybrink into the NVIDIA machine. survives again, albeit just a hair of contact. Did he actually make contact with the 6? Have a look. Is that another Cole Trickle move of the race? Did he touch the 6 car? Watch this. Slow it down. Is there I think there's contact there for the 2-0. Yeah, there is the contact. All right, and then it all just goes belly up behind them. Tom Sears involved. Cody Riggs involved. Josh Gaiman caught a piece of that. Third caution of the night. And we're going to have 7 laps to go when we restart this race. The points leader and the sophomore side by side. See if we can have a quick word with both of them. Noah Belleville, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
I got it.
Well, buddy, you got a chance to win it. After damage control last week, damage control this week, your chances are actually looking good to win this race. Who's going to be your best draft partner on the way to the end?
Bradley, 100%. He's right behind me. We were working pretty good earlier before one of those cautions, but I really just need him to get a good launch on this restart, and I need to at least get clear of Seeger coming out of 2. If Seeger's still on me, once we get at 2 with someone behind him, they're probably going to clear me like they did that last restart. So it really just comes down to if me and Bradley can get a good launch here.
We'll see what happens.
Get clear, yeah.
We'll see what happens. We're going to talk to Matt Seeger in a minute. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Matt Seeger, Rick James up top. Can you hear me? Matt Seeger, Rick James, you got a copy? We're going to let him get back to work. He's focusing here with 7 laps remaining at the Talladega Superspeedway when we go green. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. If this is your first Thursday Night Thunder race, sit back and enjoy. Gen 4 cars, Gen 4 rules, with a twist, obviously. We have lucky dogs, we have double file restarts, but we love the nostalgia of the Gen 4 race cars, some of these awesome throwback paint schemes, and our sponsor helps us as well with that. Drip Diecast and Collectibles sponsors not only our points, our race facts, but basically they've been with us since day one almost, but one of the big sponsors of the series, if not the big sponsor of the series. Your number one Facebook and eBay store for all sorts of NASCAR, diecast, and more. Check them out on eBay and Facebook. They do have a link here, and it's my mistake. I'm dropping the ball on that. We should put a little QR code for our sponsor, but shout out Drip Diecast and Collectibles as we go green. Check them out on eBay and Facebook, your number one online store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. Green flag is out, and 7 laps remain. What a jump by the 41. Seeger's going to need some help, and it's advantage Belleville. 6 to go next time. Here comes the run from the 16. 12 behind him, 75 of Kerr. Third in line. Everyone trying to get themselves situated into turn number 3. Who's it going to be? Seeger out front. Belleville to the inside, and Pinnell also dips down to the inside line. 41 behind them. Greatest camera angles in sim racing, I tell you. Don't you love the bottom of those iRacing bleachers? I sure do. 6 to go. Pinnell leads. He won here in Season 4. Seeger trying to get a big push from the 7-5 of Kerr. Nick Pressey on the outside. Belleville's direct championship rival. Anything can happen. 5.5 remain at Talladega. One, 2 on the left-hand side with a big push from the 41. Let's go on board with Pinnell. .41 blinks, 5 laps to go. The internet needs to hold on for Noah Belleville. There is no other option. Seeger going for his first Thursday Night Thunder win with the North Carolinian Jimmy Kerr behind him. Does he see a win in his future? Tristan Catania involved in what was almost a crash on lap number 8. He's in this mix as well. Talladega is the land of second chances, I tell you. Seeger on the outside, coming to 4 laps to go. Pressey makes his kick, but he's got no help behind him. 94 will sink to the back and have a strong run into turn number 1. At the line, Pinnell leads it 4/100ths of a second. Is the gap? There they go again. There's a big wreck at the back. 17, the 5, the 20, the 2 of Thomas Andrews again. The 51 of Lindemann slowly parades through it all. Dustin Painter comes to a screeching halt. Caution number 4, and it's going to be a green, white checker when they restart this race. Let's see what happened. Kevin Feemster caught a big piece of this. And by now they've already crashed. The 20 had gotten loose here into turn number 1, so I want to see just what happens. My guess is bump drafting, as it normally is. It does look like it starts with John Honeybrink, so let's see if we can find out what went on with the 2-0. Oh, he just was not ready for the bump draft from Donald Ray. Run this one back. You're going to see the 5 try and give the 20 a really good shove into the corner. Let's slow this down here. And you're going to see the 5 car give the 20 a great little shove here. 20's going to get loose into the 17 of Dustin Painter. Painter gets into Catania. And here's where it all... Now, Richie Catania keeps it together. Dustin Painter gets into younger brother Tristan, who then gets up into Donald Ray, Cody Riggs, Kevin Feemster. Everybody catches a piece. Dale Markowski almost flips over. Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews is involved. Caution number 4 at the Talladega Superspeedway. And the Alabama pilot, Ryan Pinnell, leads this race. Big Georgia football fan, living deep in the heart of Alabama. Not, not something that he can easily get away with. But he does. He manages. He leads this race. Noah Belleville sitting in second. Let's have another look at this crash because just a lot of drivers got involved in this here. There's the 6. We're going to slow this down again because it looks cool and I want to. The 48 of Tristan Catania sits ahead of him, and going into turn number 1, there's going to be the contact to Painter, and watch the chain reaction unfold. Caution lights are still on atop the pace car. Next week, we're going to do something that we've never, ever done. We're going to do a doubleheader. Watkins Glen and Richmond in the same night. I still, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I still have no idea how we're going to pull this off. I don't know if it's going to be one separate broadcast, if it's going to be 2 separate broadcasts, but our Thursday Night Thunder first ever doubleheader. The Gen 4 cars at Richmond. At Watkins Glen first, then at Richmond. I struggle to think how it's going to be more fun than this, but I think it's going to be, by the time we're done with Richmond, I think these guys are going to be exhausted. But we're going to try it out. I think we're going to do 2 different streams that night, or we're just going to have a 20-minute break. between the streams. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Stay tuned to Rick James and Thursday Night Thunder Twitter, and then normal service resumes the week after that. The 9th round in the 9th season of Thursday Night Thunder at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, October 10, 8:40 p.m. right here on Rick James TV on Twitch and YouTube. And I'm going to try and find that link for our sponsor, Drip Diecast and Collectibles. And actually, I think I've got it here. Here's the link tree for Drip Diecast and Collectibles there. Again, we got to give it all up to them. They are our big sponsor here for Thursday Night Thunder, and they have been for a very long time. Lights are out atop the pace car. We're about to go green. Big shout out to Drip Diecast and Collectibles, your number one Facebook and eBay store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. If you love any of the paint schemes you see here, if it just brings back a little bit of that nostalgia, like the Mac Tonight car that you're looking at right now. How about the car next to him? Remember Jimmy Spencer drove that car. Everybody knows the 2001 Kevin Harvick machine here. Elrich George. I think Jimmy Spencer drove this one as well, albeit not with a 40. We know the 38 M&M's machine, piloted by rookie Chris Fleming next to him. Tommy Withers driving this Mark Martin special. Richie Catania in one of my personal favorites, the Jeff Gordon machine. You can find most, if not all, of these diecast on Drip Diecast and Collectibles. A gift for you, for somebody you love, for someone you don't love. I don't care, but they've got your flavor of NASCAR nostalgia on their eBay and Facebook store. The Linktree link coming at you one more time. Drip Diecast and Collectibles for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia and more. All sorts of sports memorabilia, even crap you didn't think you needed. They've got it. Drip Diecast and Collectibles. And let's get back to racing. What is, by my calculations, 5.32 miles of racing when they cross this line. The graduate of Hoover High School, who won here in season number 4, Ryan Pennell, has control of the field. Birmingham's native son, next to the pride of DeSoto, Missouri, and points leader, Noah Belleville. Behind Belleville by 5 points is Nick Pressey in the standings, and he sits a car length behind him. The green flag will fly with 2 laps to go at Talladega. Let's go racing. White flag this time by Belleville on the outside. Pennell collects the white flag, and it's fewer than 2.5 miles to go. Ryan Pennell winning in season 4. He wants to win again. Belleville gets into the 12. Seeger leads as they crash out of turn number 2. Jimmy Kerr behind the sophomore in the 1-6. The points leader continues to spin. Briley Wright, the Daytona winner, last season, 2 seasons ago in July, on the outside with a huge run. Elrich George in 4th. Kerr makes his move to the outside. It's Georgia versus North Carolina into turn number 3. Seeger with no help from Fleming. Here comes the 40. They're going to drag race. 2 on the outside, 3 on the inside. 29 gets loose, tries to force his way to the inside of the 75. Seeger leads. The sophomore's got a chance. Rookie Fleming behind him through the tri-oval. George on the inside of the yellow line. 4 wide for second, and at the line, it's gonna be Chris Fleming, who beats Matt Seeger by 4/100ths of a second. What a finish. Chris Fleming beats Seeger to the line. 4/100ths of a second as they continue to wreck and spin. My hands are shaking. What a finish. Everything you would expect in a Talladega finish. Unofficially, points leader Noah Belleville finishing in 13th. Championship rival Nick Pressey finishing in 16th. And the rookie Chris Fleming, the pride of Riverhead, wins at Talladega. That's how you do that. A great little burnout for him. Let's go back to the white flag and check this out. That was something else. Pennell leads at the line. Belleville gets put sideways by Briley Wright into turn number 1. Watch this. Briley Wright with just a... Let's have a visit here. Let's unpack this. Go on board with Briley Wright for me. And as they wreck behind him, reluctantly, we're going to take a look at Briley Wright's resume tonight. This is on lap 50, behind Josh Gaiman. Lap 67 behind Terry Freer. The final lap behind Noah Belleville. And they all wreck behind him. Now Belleville makes it through okay. Here comes Tommy Withers to help Belleville crash this car. Withers gets ahead. Dustin Painter on his outside, and it's a big drag race all the way to the end. Chris Fleming, by the way, behind Matt Seeger. This is the run into turn number 3. The driven car wash, Camry. On the inside, Briley Wright tries to make his way to the inside of Jimmy Kerr again. And watch this finish. Fleming on the outside. Really kicks at the right time. Seeger tries to block. Fleming with the run of the century. They touch. Craven got him. Chris Fleming wins his first Thursday Night Thunder race. And there's the final gap at the line on lap 77. Well, it was 4/100ths of a second at the line here. We'll get the official timing in a moment. Let's catch our breaths. We're going to have Chris Fleming, Matt Seeger, and Richie Catania on the podium in just a moment. On the podium now with our top three, starting with the pride of Central Florida, Richie Catania in the Jeff Gordon machine. Ricardo, when that white flag flew, did you think you had a chance to win this race?
Rick, I was back there, man. I got hit the caution before, but knew I had a chance because they were all bundled up and things were getting a little wild. Knew a couple people would probably spin back and forth, so it actually happened, and had a pretty good look at it, and happy with third place, man. Cannot complain.
What a wild finish, man. An awesome finish to that one. And then next week we get the doubleheader, man. Are we going to see you there? Maybe you can get 2 podiums in one night. Who knows?
I would love that. I'll be there.
All right, buddy. Send my love to the family. We'll see you in a week.
Yep.
On to our silver medalist tonight. Shotgun, for those that know. Matt Seeger to you and everybody else. Shotgun, how close can you get, man? What a white flag. Matt Seeger, I think, is Matt Seeger still muted? No, Seeger, we can't hear you.
I heard him.
You heard him? Okay, I didn't hear him.
Hello?
There we go. All right, Matt, there we go. We got Shotgun Seeger here. Dude, how close can you get? Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, for real. I mean, we were pushing the 12 coming to the white, I think, and then something happened with him that turned him sideways, and somehow we avoided that wreck and just didn't work out. I'm gonna be thinking about that one for a while.
Hey, the next step is inevitably victory. You're going to take a big leap in the points as well. So, a lot of ways to go here. And then next week, the doubleheader, man. You think you're going to do well at Watkins Glen in Richmond?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I'm a decent road course racer, I would like to think, and I'm typically pretty decent at the short track, so we'll put in some practice and hopefully we'll come out with a good finish.
We'll see you in a week for 2 races, man. Congratulations on second.
Thank you, sir.
Rookie Chris Fleming, if there's one way to get your first win at Talladega, beating Matt Seeger by 4/100ths of a second is a really accomplished way to do it. Unofficially, you're up to 8th in the point standings. What a finish.
I didn't know what was going to happen there in the tri-oval. I got mired in the back pretty early, kept getting caught up in those accidents, avoided them, but it just happened right around me every time. And coming to the white there, I kept telling myself I don't want to be on the inside. I don't want to be on the inside. It keeps backpedaling, and somehow ended up on the inside again. And I went, going into turn 1, I was like, well, I guess this is pretty much going to be my race. I'm mired back here in 7th, 8th. I'll just take it. It'll be a good points day. And whatever happened, I don't know what happened. Next thing I knew, going into 3, I was in 3rd. And I knew that the side draft in these cars gave you a little bit, and that was the only hope that I had coming through the tri-ovals. If I could side draft Seeger just enough, I thought I could get it. We had a little bit of playful door banging coming to the start-finish line, and I wasn't 100% sure until we went into 1 and the race tracker updated and said I was first. I didn't think I had it. But definitely for my first win, I've been running with ARCs since last season, started with OST, and then also high octane on Saturdays, and I've got myself pretty close before, but for a league of this caliber to be sitting in victory lane is wild. I never thought that in my first season I'd be in victory lane for Thursday Night Thunder.
Beautiful way to get it, man. 6 races now complete, and after your 6th start, you're in victory lane. We'll see you in a week's time for Watkins Glen and Richmond. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I appreciate all you guys.
Great way to end this one, and of course, next week is going to be just even more fun. Uncharted waters for Thursday Night Thunder. We've never done a doubleheader before, so we'll see what happens. Unofficially headed into next week's doubleheader, Noah Belleville leads Nick Pressey by 7 points, headed into Watkins Glen and then Richmond. And we've got 16 races on the calendar, 6 complete, and 10 more to go in Season 9. Please do join us for that doubleheader next week. No matter what happens, it's going to be so much fun. And then the week after, normal service resumes at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as always, right here on Rick James TV, 8:40 p.m. Eastern on your Thursday nights. Keep in touch with us on Twitch and YouTube as well, at Rick James TV, at Thursday Night Thunder. And we've done enough gabbing. I think we need a drink here. So for everybody that has tuned in and been a part of this, until that next race, stay safe, take care of each other, and we will see you